What I'm about to show you is going to change the way you look at AI forever. Now, I'm not talking about just chatbots or basic automations inside ChatGPT. Just 2 years ago, I spent over $50,000 trying to develop a tool for Airbnb host with a team of developers in Pakistan. It took us almost a year and they couldn't deliver on the product that we needed. So we had to kill this product. You can now pretty much develop any web app, mobile app, without knowing how to code. This is all I gave it. And it took that information and made it into this with a single prompt. I'm going to show you how we're automating our guest messaging, house manual, and frequently asked questions. All right. First thing you're going to want to do is download Cursor. Cursor is going to look like this. And what Cursor is, it's basically the terminal from where you're going to run everything. Right, so go to Cursor, download either for Mac or desktop, and once you have that set up, the next thing you're going to want to do is go to Anthropic, and you're going to want to create an account with Claude, because we're going to need to actually pay for the Claude monthly membership. It's going to be like $100, and that way we can actually install Claude code. Now, once you have your account, you can actually copy this code and bring it into the terminal. And I'm just going to open up our project that we're going to be using here. But if you bring that code into the terminal, you're basically going to be able to install it. If you simply paste that in, it's going to start doing all the work for you now. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to go through that. But that's basically it. Now you're going to be ready to now start following along with me. So the first thing I did before starting this video, just to save some time, was inside of my desktop, I created a folder. Inside that folder, I saved as a TXT file the listing description, which literally I just copied that from Airbnb, the frequently asked questions with my team put together, and the house manual, which we just had a PDF with all the instructions on how do you check in, how does the sauna work, how do you turn on the jacuzzi, right? All these instructions, we previously just had a PDF that we would send the guest. So what I did was copy all the text and save it as a TXT file. Next, I went to OpenAI, and under my account, I created the ChatGPT OpenAI key. Now that's very easy. You can just do OpenAI or ChatGPT, I think, OpenAI key, and you're going to use this link here, and you can just generate a new secret key. That key, what I did was I created another TXT file, pasted that key in there because that's what Cursor is going to read along with Claude code to integrate the chatbot and pull ChatGPT into the web app that we're building. And then what I just did was save a couple of the images for the website. That's all you really need to do to set this up, right? And if you're coding anything else, any other tools, any other mobile apps, you want to just create a folder with the information that the terminal is going to need for you to execute it, right? So the more information you give it up front, the more it's going to make it easy for you to not be having to later come back and add these things, right? Let's get into it. I'm actually going to open the project and we're going to work off that copy. So here's the new folder that I made for this demo. I'm going to open that up, and now you're going to see we have Cursor, which is here. This is the chat, and we also have the terminal. Now what we want to do right now is we want to turn on Claude. So the way you do it is just type Claude up here, press enter. And yes, we're going to hit 1 to trust. Now once we're in here, you're ready to start vibe coding. What that means is you don't need to know how to code. This is going to code for you. And all you really need to do is you need to know how to talk to the machine. That's it. You just need to prompt your way to build this tool. So let's go back to the folder that I made here, and we're going to copy this prompt. So the prompt that I did was basically, I want to build a website that will integrate all the info of our house manual, Airbnb listing description.
One eternity later.
Blah, blah, blah. So I gave it all of the instructions. Now, you don't even need to create this prompt. I went to ChatGPT. I told it what I wanted, and I said, give me a prompt so I can code the following thing using Claude code. And boom, it gave me this prompt. So use and leverage the same tools to basically get the inputs that you need. Now, I will be sharing access to this file. We're just going to come in here, paste that prompt, and hit enter. And now you're going to see that It's starting to do its magic. Oh, so actually I'm gonna hit escape for a second because I forgot one thing. Want to put Claude Code in plan mode. And what I mean by plan mode is you're gonna hit Shift plus Tab and Shift plus Tab again. So Shift and Tab, and you should see the plan mode right here. Why? Because when you put it in plan mode, what it's gonna do is it's first gonna plan the steps for this process. So it's gonna basically outline what it's gonna do before it gets started. So it's basically building its own plan for execution. So think about it like a senior developer giving instructions to its team. That's what it's doing right now. So here you can auto accept, or you can tell it to keep planning. I want to do one yes and auto accept edits. I trust Claude Code to just do the work. I don't really need to be manually approving stuff. You can choose whichever one you want to do if you want to be reviewing each of the steps, but I usually just let it do its thing. So you can see here, it's going to set up the Next.js project. Again, you really don't need to understand this, but as you work with this workflow, the more you work with it, you kind of start learning how to use and integrate all these tools. So you're just really going to have to be just approving it, or there's a way to auto approve everything. So once it's done coding, it's going to give you a link. And if you're trying to open it, you might get an error. Now what you need to do here is you actually need to tell it to run the server on your computer so that you can see the actual tool that you built. So I usually just give it the prompt run server on the terminal, and again, it does it for you, because once it completes it, it might give you instructions to run the server, but all you need to do is copy that exact same thing and go and instruct it to do it. You really don't need to know how to do this. And you see, now we got our website. So look how cool this looks. It's welcome to the music house. It did this animations on its own. I can explore the house manual. Now this book now, say I don't want it. I'm gonna actually tell it here. So let me show you how you can just even make changes to the website. So again, open up Claude real quick, or you can even work from the chat as well. But I'm gonna tell it, remove the book now button. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to just show you what we built here. Experience the ultimate getaway, really cool animations, perfect location in Fort Lauderdale, showing the distance to the beach. Let's see here, house manual. Look at this, look how cool. Check-in, Wi-Fi, amenities, house rules, emergency, local info, amenities, heated pool, jacuzzi, infrared sauna, entertainment, and then the local guide, beaches, entertainment. Now let's check out the chatbot. Let's see, what's the Wi-Fi password? The Wi-Fi network details, the music house, welcome home. How incredible is this? And from one single prompt, we built this out. Now I can start making changes here. I could add extra stuff. Let's say in the amenities, I actually want to insert instructions to use, let's say, the hot tub. Then I could come in here and make the modification. But let's see here. Yes. So it's gonna, right now we're trying to remove that the book now button. Let it do a thing. And okay, so I think it's done. Let's see. Let's go back. Yep. See, now the button is gone. And I could literally do any other changes that I need to this. But for now, I think I like it. I think it's good. Let me show you the final step of this process. Again, this is locally on my computer. So if we actually want to go and deploy it, we need to create an account with GitHub. And what you're going to do here is you're going to create a new repository. I'm going to call it Airbnb manual. And I'm going to make it private. I don't want the code to be public. So create that repository. And now I'm going to copy this Git. And now give it back to the terminal and tell it deploy or commit the code to GitHub so that we can host this online. And I don't need to give any explanation. So it's going to start doing that and working through that. Now, while that's doing that, you're going to need an account with Vercel or Vercel. It's going to take the code from GitHub and it's going to deploy it online. And if you don't know how to use any of this, just chat with it. It's going to tell you. You literally don't need to know anything. The first time I used it, I'm like, well, how do I commit the code to GitHub? And it said, well, you do this. Go to GitHub and copy this link and do that. You can learn how to do all this by just talking to the AI. And let's just wait for a second. All right, so once it's done, we can now go back to GitHub and let's see. Let's go back to the repository that we created. And now we can see that all of the code is now uploaded. So Cursor took everything that we built, all the code that it did, and it now pushed it to GitHub. And this is now being hosted online. So with this, we can now do the next step to deploy it into the cloud or have it online so that you can now have a custom domain and you can now share this with guests. So let's say, okay, now, and let's talk to the terminal. Now the GitHub has been uploaded. I need to deploy in Vercel. How to do this. Again, when you don't know something, I could have started by asking it, I want to deploy this online. What do I need to do? And actually, let's do that. Let's say it's my first time and I'm like, we built the tool. Now I want to host this online. What are the steps? So it's saying choose the hosting platform, set up the Git repository, and then you deploy it. So let's deploy with Vercel, recommended. And now it's actually going to start doing it all for me. And as you can see, I shifted from going inside of Claude code now to the Cursor terminal, because the Cursor terminal can do all the other setup stuff. Continue with GitHub. As you can see, it's literally walking me through the steps. Vercel CLI was successfully authenticated. You can now close this tab and return. Deploy to Vercel. Now you could also go into Vercel and manually connect it to the GitHub and do these steps manually. But if you don't know how to do this, then just let Cursor walk you through the steps and let it help you do it. And as you can see, we are now inside Vercel and it went in. Again, it's doing this by itself, creating this stuff that's online from using my terminal, which is incredible. So it's actually going in the computer and doing all this stuff for you. You see, this is now inside of Vercel, and we've only been doing stuff inside of Cursor. So now that we're here, we can actually connect to the Git repository, log into GitHub, found my account, and connect it to the Airbnb manual. And we're done. Here it is. We have our website. I can visit it. And now I have this being hosted on the web. Of course, now I could buy a custom domain, but this is ready to be shared with guests. I hope this video inspired you guys to go and test out. I would encourage you to just start testing, playing around with it, figure out one thing you can automate, build a simple website, but just get started with this.